In this video, we're going to show you how to create pivot tables. Now, before we start pivot tables, let's just look at this table. We have a simple table here with company name, country, order date, sales rep, the shipper they use, the category of what they ship, software, hardware, mobiles, their unit price, quantity, freight, and the total amount. Now, what pivot tables allows us to do is dig deeper into our data, sort of drilling into our information. Now, we already have looked at sorting and filtering. What pivot tables does is allows us to go a little bit more deeper and analyze the information. And it's very easy to do. Let's get started. I'm just going to zoom out just a little bit here, and let's get started with pivot tables. To create a pivot table, go to your Insert ribbon and click on Pivot Tables. When you click on Pivot Tables, you'll get this dialog box. The first thing you want to do is select the table or a range. In this example, Excel has already selected our table, Table 1. Next thing we want to do is, well, where do you want this pivot table? Do you want a new worksheet or an existing worksheet? Generally speaking, it always is a little bit better to have it on a new worksheet. Click on OK. And I'm just going to zoom in here a little bit. On the left side, this is where our pivot table will appear. On the right side here, this is where we will be creating our pivot table. And we have basically two sections. The top section here lists all our field names from our table. Remember, company name, country, sales rep, etc. Next, we have four sections down here. Number one is filter, rows, columns, and values. Let's do rows and columns first. Well, what do we want to analyze in our pivot table? So it's very easy to do. Let's say I want to look at sales reps. So I bring my mouse up here on sales reps, click, hold down your mouse button, and drag sales reps down to rows. Now you know where your sales reps are because you can see this green line in the section where you want to drop it. So I want to drop sales reps in rows area. When I do, if you notice over here on your left hand side, we have all our sales reps. Next, I want to see my sales reps and I want to see, well, where did they ship? Okay, in what country did they ship to? And I want to see my countries, and I'm going to drag that down to the columns area. And now what I'm seeing is I'm seeing on my rows my sales reps, and in my column area, my countries. But wait a minute, I want to see some data here. Now, this is where the value section comes in. In the value section, generally speaking, you have numbers. Now, in our table, we have several columns that are numbers: unit price, quantity, freight, and total price. Now, you can use one of them, you can use two of them, or you can use any combination of them. In this example, we'll start off with a simple one, total price. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on total price and drag it down to values. And watch what happens when I let go. Microsoft Excel puts in the total values for each sales rep they sold for each country. Now, before we go on, let me just make this a little bit easier to read. I'm just going to center this information. So go to my home and click on center. And what I want to do is I'm just going to put in some borders just so it's a little bit easier for us to read the information. Now, what we can see is, okay, our sales rep, in this example, Kashmira, sold $140,000 worth of products to France. Mike sold about $185,000 worth of products to Canada. Now, this is really nice, but what I want to do is I want to see the commas, the dollar signs, etc. So, all I have to do is highlight my table, and I'm going to put in my numbers. Now you can choose currency or accounting, your choice. I'm just going to click on accounting here. And now it's a little bit easier for us to read the information. Now, they call this pivot tables for a reason. Right now I'm looking at my sales reps and my countries. But wait a minute, I don't want to see it by countries here. I want to see it by shipper. So watch what I do. Let's say here in columns, I don't want columns, or in columns, I don't want countries. I want shipper instead. So watch what I do. I click on country and just drag it up here to my field area and let go. And if you notice, countries are gone in the left section. What I want instead is by shipper. So I click on shipper and drag it down to columns. And now what I'm seeing is my sales reps and the total amount for each shipper they use. For example, in this example, Keshmera used DHL for $16,292.98 worth of shipping. And same thing for Federal Express, UPS, etc. Now, let's say I want to see my sales reps, but I also want to see, well, what country did they ship to? This is where we get into a little bit of the highlights of pivot tables and how easy it is to drill into the information. So what I want to see here in my rows area is I want to see first by country and then by the sales reps. So watch what I do. I bring my mouse on country, click and drag it down, and now I have a choice. Do I want to see country first and sales reps, or sales reps and then country? Now if you notice, okay, my little green bar is right now below sales reps. Well, I don't want to see sales reps first. I want to see first by country. So I bring my mouse just above sales reps, and you can see the green line there. Let go. And now if you notice, I'm just going to zoom out slightly here. I'm seeing countries, Canada, France, UK, USA, and then underneath them, my sales reps. So now I can see for Canada, Mike shipped $56,000 worth of products using DHL. Nicholas, $64,000. Raymond, nothing. Sarah, nothing, etc. And that's how easy it is to use pivot tables. Now let's say I don't want to see France. I'm just going to click on the little minus and I can hide the details for each of the countries and just see the totals. Oops. Or I can expand all of them to see the exact information I want. How much detail do I want to see? And that's how easy pivot tables are to use.